Hello and welcome to this EARMA ERION Special Newsletter. My name is Borana. I work as Project Manager at the EARMA for Ethics and Research Integrity. And I'm here today with the two ERION co-chairs, Stefanie and Jonas. Hello to both of you.
Hi.
Before I have a conversation with Jonas and Stefanie, I would like first to provide a short overview about ERION activities, what happened last year and what we foresee also for the year ahead. First of all, let me start with the year ahead. We will continue to organize the biannual meetings in ERION and in connection with the Horizon Europe Framework Program of the European Commission. We'll keep discussions focused on topics of relevance. This might be open science, gender diversity, or other topics. We will also organize additional webinars or workshops on topic of interest. For example, in February, we will have a workshop on the implementation of the ALEA Code of Conduct for Research Integrity. And in June, we also plan a dedicated dissemination event where we can discuss with colleagues from the Research Support Office about questions that often arise. For example, what is my job as ethics and research integrity officer? What should you know about my activities? Another important activity of the ERION network is its commitment to keep close collaboration with other European projects or networks or organizations. And we also try to sometimes keep connections also with other organizations at international level. We, whenever possible, we also try to make the link within EARMA with the committees or groups who are working on topics of relevance to ERION. It can be policy related, gender, or others. Due to the current COVID-19 situation, we will organize these events online and switch then to physical meetings as soon as it is safe for all of us. So this, I'm over for my part about the ERION overview, and I would like now to firstly turn over to Stefanie. Hello again.
Hi.
Could you, Stefanie, please provide us some insights about your experience as ERION co-chair in 2020? This was quite a peculiar year.
Yeah, it's been quite a challenging year. I can tell you that. 2020, it was a strange year for all of us. We just had the March event on training, ethics, and research integrity. And I think the week after that, the situation became that difficult that all physical meetings were cancelled. So we were very lucky to have the March event in normal circumstances. But after that, I first thought that it would be a very temporary situation and we could just wait and see. But it was very clear very quickly that we needed to really shift means and methods to keep reaching out to the community. And I think it's the enormous work that you, Borana, did with the complete new digital project that made us offer relevant content at a regular basis, and maybe even to more people than before, because now people could just join in from their couch. So that was a big achievement, I think, for you, Borana.
Thanks a lot, Stefanie. And now I'm curious to hear a bit more about your challenges as a research and ethics practitioner as well. What were these?
Without doubt, surviving lockdown with small children. I mean, that was a real challenge for me personally. But as a research integrity advisor, I think staying connected in all this madness, almost keeping track of everything that is going on without actually being there, seeing it happen, feel it in your office, and being close to our researchers, even if we're actually very well far away, in physical terms, that is. I kind of missed that dynamic vibe around me that you feel in the office at your universities. So that was a big challenge. And I think learning to appreciate Zoom on a technical note, but also on the kind of new way of communicating and connecting with people. I guess that was the main thing for me. Jonas, you have the same experience, or maybe completely different thoughts on that?
I mean, I really agree about missing the dynamic vibe. I mean, not being around your colleagues and not having the opportunity to meet the researchers and your colleagues in person. I think that's it's a thing about this job that you didn't realize how much you appreciated before this happened. But then, as you say, I mean, we've been, I think, both in ERION but also at our universities, we've been very good at taking advantage of the opportunities. I think we have more meetings and more information events, and so on, both at our university and also in the ERION community. And we've been quite productive, I think. I mean, the report we did after the last physical meeting on ethics training, we did that within this working group that met online on several occasions, and we managed to get a lot of things done, I think. And I want to also say that big thanks to Borana and also Niall, who isn't here now, but the EARMA administration has really been helpful here. And but then also, I mean, we've seen how the researchers themselves are affected by this, and there's been some quite difficult and challenges, and I mean, this just switching to a digital format in your research is even more of a challenge, since you have to make sure that you still stay within all the legal regulations and ethical guidelines and so on. For instance, when it comes to obtaining consent and data management in general, doing that and conducting interviews via Zoom, for instance. Can you do that in all projects without having to make amendments in your ethics approval and so on? And so we had a lot of questions like that, and also try to help researchers find manageable solutions, because it's also, I mean, there might be a solution, but it also needs to be practical. So I think that's been one of the big challenges on the floor, as it were.
Yeah, those were really additional concerns for our researchers, and it all had to happen very short time. So that was a big challenge. Yeah.
Okay, and this is for Jonas, maybe as ERION co-chair. Can you maybe reflect about the year ahead, what you would see as upcoming or important things to keep in mind?
Yeah, I mean, I guess my attitude now is shared by many. It's hoping for the best, but preparing for the worst. I mean, we hope to get back to physical meetings, of course, but I don't know when that's going to happen, and we need to be ready to host these events digitally for quite a long while still, I think. But we do already have some events planned that you mentioned, and I think there's a lot of development now that it's interesting for the community to follow, and I mean, the new Horizon Europe framework and how the ethics appraisal scheme and how that will develop within the new framework. And also the LAIA code has been quite central to our work. I think in the last couple of years, it has become increasingly more important and central document. I've worked with that both on the national level and also local at university. I mean, on the national level, we written a guideline for higher education institutions, where the LAI Code was promoted as a central document, and also in our Stockholm University's ethics, research integrity and ethics policy, which was decided just 2 weeks ago. It's also promoted as one of the central documents, and it'll be interesting to see at the event that we're hosting in just 2 weeks, what the experience of our community members are with respect to implementation of this very important document in various contexts. So I'm really looking forward to that, and also to the events that we haven't yet decided on and that we will host later in the year, hopefully physically, but more likely perhaps digitally. There's so many important topics that we have found it already, many topics which we found very fruitful to discuss within the community. So I'm really looking forward to that, to continuing in that spirit.
Yeah, surely. I think we will all try our best to make these events as much a pleasure for all of us, not only exchanging best practices, but we're also trying to find ways of being interactive and having those networking opportunities that we are all missing so much. So this is my turn to thank you both for an incredible leadership and support and guidance, especially during this challenging year. And this is also an opportunity to thank all the members of the EARMA core group, the rapporteurs, the moderators, the speakers of the events, and all the community support that we have received. And we hope to continue this great collaboration in this year as well. And with this, I would like to wish you, the EARMA community, a very good reading of this newsletter. You'll find more information about some of the activities we have mentioned in the newsletter. And do not hesitate to get in touch by email, or we can also organize a phone call whenever possible. And I'm happy to be in touch with you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.